Love the way the Scouts say Curtis.
Curtis.
Good morning, you beautiful people, and a warm welcome. This is the 10 o'clock news from the EV Café, brought to you this week by the ITT Hub, as we are their media partners for an event on the 10th and 11th of May at Farnborough International Conference and Exhibition Centre. And I'm still John Curtis. Today I'm joined by our special reporters, Paul and Sarah, and whoever else rocks up. Don't suppose they will.
They'll be late.
And plug in for the latest in clean transport and sustainability news. Today, we'll be talking about the EV Café opening its partnership doors wide open this week. The UK government's proposing to stick to the 2030 ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel vehicles. Come on! Battery state of health is vital to know when remarketing vehicles. There's a skills gap, which needs a strategic approach in our industry, and funding for highways innovation will drive the move to net zero. But first, us, because we're selfish like that. We've announced a few new partners this week, and we're beside ourselves with excitement. Are we excited, chaps?
Yes.
Right. Now then, let's just, before we tell you who we're bringing on board, let's say hello to Daryl Sharp, Colin Hennessy, love you, Colin, Mark Main, David Bushnell, Mark Newbury, Sarah Kennell from rainy Lincolnshire. Greetings to you all. Now then, we're the media partners for the ITT Hub, as we've mentioned, transport's home of technology, strategies and solutions. It's a 2-day exhibition, conference and meeting programme, and the ITT Hub guides the transport industry through a challenging ecosystem of future-altering technologies and opportunities that will transform this ever-evolving market. And we love it. We've been there for a couple of years. We're now hugely proud to be doing all of the interviews live and uncensored, so it'll be fabulous. I'm not sure the ITT Hub quite know what they're getting into, but we'll enjoy ourselves. We've also announced a partnership with McIntyre Hudson, positioning them as our EV Café Green Finance partner, bringing sustainable investment to your door. We've secured a partnership with Karcher, the cleaning people. Good luck keeping us clean and away from the dirt. We've welcomed Spiri and Hydrock as partners, and today we welcome Plug Me In to the fold. Spiri provides software for connected charging networks. Hydrock brings sustainable engineering consultancy, and Plug Me In provide a new name in home, depot and destination charging solutions. We continue to join many hands together to all run in the right direction. Sarah, this means quite a lot to us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'm beaming. And actually, if you think back to the ITT Hub where we announced our, I think, first and second partners, it was just amazing to see us here now. The whole point is growing this collaborative piece and trying to work together to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles. So for us to have a list like that covering all the corners of the EV sectors, I just think it makes it all worthwhile.
And I've got to say, Paul, you as our commercial lead, a stunning job to bring some of those massive household names and some less well known, but bringing them to the fore to showcase just how brilliant they are. And some are on a global scale.
This is the thing, John. What excites me most about this is these are some of the biggest names that we've never heard of. Companies that are really delivering transformational change for businesses across the globe, but obviously particularly here in our beloved England, or the UK, sorry. I am thrilled to play a small part in this whole process and to get to know such amazing people. I feel immensely privileged and deeply proud of everything that's being done by everybody in this.
You heard it here that Paul is very proud of his small part. Government has reasserted its plan. Ban the sale of new petrol and diesel cars from 2030 as it started its electric vehicle sales mandate consultation as part of a Powering Up Britain strategy to transform the UK's energy infrastructure. Energy Secretary Grant Shapps committed £381 million to electric vehicle charging infrastructure improvements as he announced the start of a consultation over an EV sales mandate as part of this wide-reaching energy strategy yesterday. Shapps also stated that the UK government would not be following the EU, and this is great news, in passing an exemption for synthetic synthetic e-fuels as it pursues our net zero emission goals. He said, we're not in Europe. We don't have to do what Europe does, Shaps has gone on to say. We've always been more forward-leaning on this stuff than the EU. I urge you to go to, well, let's say, France or possibly Holland. And then you might see something a little different because they're very progressive. Governments have proposed that the minimum EV sales target begins at 22% in 2024, increasing to 80% in 2030, reaching 100% by 2035. The new EV minimum trajectory for vans begins at 10% in 24, 70% in 2030, and 100% by 2035. And small-scale OEMs, which sell less than 2,500 vehicles a year, will remain exempt from the proposed legislation until 2029. Paul, great news about e-fuels, I think, because we have
Certainly
just got to stop burning stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is a counter to the news that we brought last week around Germany and those other 5 countries who are looking to push back this ban. Welcome, do you think, this news from the government?
Yeah, do you know what? I've met Grant Shapps, and I actually met him at Fully Charged as he was looking to actually get a vehicle for his wife. And I think he is actually really positive about the electric vehicles and zero emission vehicles. And actually, I kind of think, well, he's one of the few people I sort of think, oh, well, hopefully he's going to kind of carry on with that same methodology in his mind because he adopts it personally. So that for me is good news. I'm also aware that ZEV mandate consultation is still open. We haven't finally set those numbers, and they are proposing to bring the van numbers down, which bothers me a little bit, but I can kind of understand. But I also think that whether they bring the van numbers down or not, we're going to be jumping to electric in mostly vans. Nobody's going to be building hybrids, I don't think. So I'm not too bothered about it, but it just suggests that the government haven't quite fully got their head around what this mandate should look like yet.
And Sarah, you're our policy and strategy queen, and of course, Woman of the Year. Your thoughts on this latest consultation? Do we need consultations all the time, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really important because otherwise later everyone goes, well, I wasn't asked, I didn't have a chance to input. At least this is actually the case. It's often the case in strategy too. It's really important that you tell everybody the plan so they've got a chance to change the plan before you start delivering the plan. But I think with this, I'm pleased. It's come at the same time as what they're calling it, energizing the UK or something, the energy security plans. It's nice that it's happened at the same time because that's been quite negative with a focus on still a lot of burning stuff. My expectations are always quite low with these things. I've recently been tackling the consumer experience at Charge Points one quite heavily for the same reason, because you can't please all the people all the time, but sticking to your guns and being identified as a leader in the field by saying, no, we're going to do it. We're going to phase it out. And by 2035, it'll be 100%. I think that staging is really clear, proper targets. I'm pleased, really pleased. I hope he comes to the
Good.
ITT Hub.
Well, do you know what? It's interesting you mentioned the ITT Hub. I wasn't going to mention it, but Carlo Zuccali, who's the top man at Farnborough, he's on this news. Carlo, thank you for joining us. The link to register for the ITT Hub is available in the chat box. Hook up with Carlo. Go to the registration link. There's a wonderful man called Peter Thompson. If you want to talk to him about coming along, joining the EV Cafe Village, it's all possible. Reach out to me, to Paul, to Sarah. We will hook you up and get you there so that you can be with us. Let's move on. Oh, now, hang on. Before we do that, who else we got in the house? What names? Where are you from?
Simon Acton and
I saw that.
Colin Hennessy. Chris Griffin. Oh, it's such a nice way. I love it when people chat to us. I'm not actually texting my friends. I don't have any friends. I'm replying to all of you guys. I'm kidding. But it was like I'm on my phone, but I'm commenting on your posts. Please talk.
And Jamie Fretwell's in the house too. Look at this.
Sarah's a little bit like the Queen. She doesn't actually communicate with other people. She has people that do that. The Vehicle Remarketing Agency is calling for an industry standard battery health check to increase confidence in the used electric EV sector. Consumer concerns over battery health will not always be well informed, but they're real. And we need an accurate, credible statement on the current condition of each battery and its likely future degradation, which would help considerably, according to VRA Chair Philip Nothard. I know Philip, I've met him. Just saying. EV technology is still very new to most used car buyers, and many people have heard largely inaccurate stories about the rate at which batteries start to lose range and the costs if they fail completely. Now, the reality is that batteries extremely rarely fail completely, but it is important to know the state of health of batteries, especially in this used market. Paul, in vans, you can drive a van, you could easily do 60, 70,000 miles a year. It is hugely important, isn't it, when you're remarketing those assets, that you can prove that you've still got plenty of life left in the cells.
Yeah, I think it's a big worry for people looking to buy vehicles, particularly dealers that are taking risk on multiple levels. So I think this development, this focus on kind of getting that information out of the vehicle is going to be really valuable. It's going to really support the used market. And I must say that we absolutely have to worry and focus on the used vehicle market. Otherwise, we are going to come up against a big wall in the not too distant future as all these vehicles that we've been selling for the last couple of years start coming out onto the market. So really important development needed here.
It's great to see Varun Gandhi in the chat, and also James McKechnie from Hydrock. Now then, did we mention Hydrock earlier as maybe a new partner of the EV Cafe? Might have done. They do fabulous sustainable engineering projects. There's some stuff in America which is going on that Hydrock are involved with. It is just billions of dollars worth of brilliant improvements to the electric vehicle infrastructure and systems. The whole mobility framework over there is being changed by Hydrock. Superb. Any road up. The UK needs a skilled workforce to decarbonise transport, deliver better services and pioneer new mobility, according to a new report launched by Tech UK. The report, Driving the Future of Transport, Addressing the Skills Gap, sets out 5 recommendations for how government and industry can ensure that the transport sector has the digital and technical skills it needs to thrive. And Sarah, I know this area is really important to you, this developing people and closing that skills gap. The rate of innovation we will see within the transport sector over the next 30 years cannot be overstated. Across all modes, road, rail, air and sea, new technologies and data systems are being developed and integrated to drive remarkable outcomes. Transport faces a significant skills challenge, and I chaired a net zero conference on Wednesday, 340 people, and that was one of the overarching themes from every speaker. We have great innovation, but trying to find the right people to scale and move at pace to deliver on our climate mitigation activity is hugely challenging. The transport sector needs to innovate in order to solve complex challenges, and the report makes 5 key recommendations. The Department for Transport should publish a policy roadmap for addressing issues identified within its transport labour market and skills consultation. The apprenticeship levy needs to be reformed to transfer its impact across the transport and the wider economy. The creation of a digital skills and productivity tax credit to drive business investment in training and productivity, enhancing technology. Government should lead the creation of a new digital skills for transport task force, and government must work with industry to create a transport Digital Champion Advisory Council. Now, as part of your Woman of the Year award, Sarah, you were gifted a £5,000 credit. Can you talk to us about how you're using that? Because it's relevant to this whole skills gap area.
It is. The £5,000 was intended for my personal progression, but I didn't really see that at this point. I'd rather help somebody else. So the plan is to double, if not triple that fund to about £15,000 and open up an application basis for anyone, anywhere of any age, actually, because the skills gap can be filled with upskilling or reskilling as well as apprentices. And I want that person to come forward and explain to the judging panel, who is going to be the 6 finalists for the Barbara Cox Award this year, why they feel that would benefit them. And I'm going to put together a program of mentoring, perhaps counselling, mental health, first aid, all that stuff that they'll need to embark on a brand new career and feel really good about themselves. But also, I'll be calling people to offer me work experience for that person, shadowing. It's going to be a year's program. So watch this space, but I want to be paying it forward. And actually on that, we can all do our bit to inspire people to enter into our industry, right? I was just in contact with a professor at my university to say where I've gone with my career since they helped me. And I'm going to go back to the university. I've done it 3 times. This will be the 4th time. But go back to the university just to really frame for the people in the room, hemorrhaging cash, trying to do the right thing by doing an environmental science or geography degree, what that can look like in real life as a tangible job that has a positive impact on the environment. So you can all do that. All approach wherever you went to work before and just explain where you are now.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. Can I just pick up a couple of things from the chat box? One is Leon Gomez, who says, morning at 10:13. Sorry I'm late. Where is your note? Honestly, alarm clock. Ding, 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 ding. And moving on. A LinkedIn user who has remained anonymous says, hello from sunny Sheffield. Hello, Sheffield. That's not how one pronounces Karcher. Okay. Do me a favour. Tell us how we should be saying it. Don't tell me there's a problem. Tell me what the solution is. We have worked with the very, very senior people at Karcher UK who say Karcher UK. It's different. You tell me. Oh,
Where's
now,
the wonderful moment
I
of
think-
she would say.
Actually, John, I think the person in question is German. I did see Bernd Hormann. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on LinkedIn. It's not anonymous.
Bernd.
I want to learn. Teach us.
It just says LinkedIn user here. Bernd, do me a favour, friend. Tell us how to say it. They're our partners. They're our sponsors. We can educate them. National Highways has partnered with the Connected Places Catapult to find solutions for net zero carbon maintenance and construction in a new £1.7 million competition. Paul, could you breathe a little less passionately than you are right now? All we got was...
Not breathing.
Oh, good.
It's
You're
not me,
breathing.
mate. It's in your ears.
How I've prayed for that moment where Paul's not breathing. The winners could receive £30,000 to create a detailed trial proposal to test their idea on the road network, and a further £80,000 to make plans a reality. So let's just recap that: £1.7 million competition. You could receive £30,000 for a trial to test a new net zero maintenance and construction project, and a further £80,000 to then turn it into reality. National Highways aims to have its maintenance and construction emissions net zero by 2040, and it's going to take a lot of innovation. So if you have an idea, if you have something which will help make our roads net zero by 2040, there is this competition. We will post the link to this competition and the details for it on our LinkedIn page. Find us by searching EV Café on LinkedIn. Go to the page and you'll find the Catapult's National Highways Accelerating Low Carbon Innovation Programme link, and you can apply for £110,000. Paul, I was only joking about you not breathing, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Listen, I know you have to stoop that low when comedy runs light, but that's okay.
My comedy has always run light. What did you drop? A clanger? Sarah.
Always an earbud.
Oh, I see. Have you had a good week this week, Sarah? Been up to lots?
Yeah, it's been an amazing week. I was at the Renewable Energy Awards hosted by Regen in Bristol on Wednesday night, and it was amazing to sat at the table with connectologists, which are the people who help connect the grid and make the EV charging hubs happen. So that's one end of it, the primary end, and then you've got pay through on the same table, which is the other end, so making it work with apps and payments. So it's just so nice as a group to watch everyone collecting these community energy awards and really familiar faces in the room, but on that skills gap, like actually seeing half the room with brand new people who are just so thirsty for this renewable energy market to thrive through electrification of vehicles. So yeah, just a brilliant week.
And Paul, do you have an interesting week or two in prospect?
Well, I want to talk about my week that I've just had, actually. I mean, I'm going on holiday, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But we as the EV Cafe, we were able to train a company called Fleet Max Solutions. We had a brilliant session with them, thinking about how they're addressing this changing market. It's fantastic, and so we got lots of engagement from those guys. And then I've been spending time with Bot this week, talking to their teams. People are hungry for information to transition, and also seeing great collaboration with some new innovation, working with Bot. I mean, it's just. There is so much going on in this market. It's a very, very exciting place. And all we can do is bring people together, give them the knowledge that they need to move forward. And that's great. That's what we do.
Fabulous. Good. And your week coming, you say you're on holiday.
Yes, going on holiday to Israel. We're going to go and have a little tour around the whole Holy Land thing. And that is going to be awesome. So I'll come back with a very burnt head, hopefully.
Well,
And talking of Burnt, there has been a post from Burnt in the comments about how to pronounce Karcher.
Karcher.
It's a YouTube link. We're going to go and listen to it. It will be different from here on in. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sarah. If you have any clean transport PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from them. But before you go, it's worth noting that our friends at Fleet News are holding their monthly webinar right now on all things fleet. Thank you for choosing to be here, but now you can bog off and go and watch them. This has been an EV Cafe production brought to you this week by the ITT Hub. Space is still available in the EV Cafe Village, but pods are selling fast. Come and be an exhibitionist with us. Join the AA, Plug Me In, Geotab, and many more as we showcase what we can do to accelerate the transition to zero-emission transport. The EV Cafe News is regulated by Big Stuart Interval, Sparky from My Energy, Tucker from the AA, installed by EV Civils, monitored by Geotab, and insured by Churchill, and exhibited at the ITT Hub. Other news sustainability services are available, but this is just fire! Oh, we're the EV Cafe, supporting the transition to clean transport. I'm off for a lie down in the dark room.
Rain.
Oh, chew. Until next Friday. Bye.
Bye.
I love a good car crash on a Friday.